Dog training is all about motivation. What does your dog like enough or find reinforcing enough to change their behavior in order to get? Or on the flip side of that, what does your dog find punishing enough that they're willing to change their behavior to avoid? Let me give you an example. You have a really friendly dog and consequently your dog jumps on people to say hi. But you don't want your dog to jump on people, so now you decide you're going to have your dog sit instead. In other words, your dog getting what it wants, which is someone's attention, is contingent on maintaining a sit position. You enlist the help of a friend your dog already knows and likes. With your dog on leash to prevent it from rehearsing inappropriate behavior, you cue your dog to sit. And as long as your dog maintains the sit position, your friend approaches and calmly pets on the chest. Okay, so cause and effect. Sitting equals attention, right? That's an example of positive reinforcement. The thing your dog wants, it can gain through its behavior. Now let me give you an example of punishment. You're dealing with a puppy, and so you're dealing with puppy play biting. Well, with your puppy on leash, tethered to something secure, so it can only go the length of the leash, grab your toy and start playing with your puppy. The second his little teeth touch your skin, you're going to go, ow, and immediately stop playing. Cause and effect. Teeth touch skin causes playtime to end. Okay, that's actually an example of negative punishment. You're removing playtime, which is what your dog wants, because of a behavior, which is play biting. Now, as long as you are 100% consistent and everyone with the dog is 100% consistent, it's affecting about 85 to 90% of the dogs. For that other 10 to 15%, they probably don't care enough about playtime ending. So now you need to come up with a different solution. This time, you're going to put your dog on a martingale collar, attach the leash, secure it to something sturdy so your dog can only go the length of the leash. Get your toy and start playing with your puppy. This time when your puppy's teeth touch your skin, you're going to do a quick tug and release. And you're going to say no. Puppy should look up at you, try to redirect his attention to a toy and resume play. If you have to do it again, quick tug and release, and walk away or crate your puppy for a timeout. Cause and effect. Teeth touch skin causes a correction to happen. That's an example of positive punishment. You are adding something unpleasant in this situation. All right, the type of reinforcers we are going to be using are food, play, and life. Let's talk about food. Dogs are individuals, just as unique as every person is. They have their preferences. So I'm going to go over a general food hierarchy, but figure out what is true for your dog. And also keep in mind, just like people can be intolerant to, say, gluten or dairy or chicken, your dog can as well. So experiment and find out what your dog can easily digest and go ahead and use that. Now, when you acquire your dog, you know you're feeding them. And most people feed their dog dry kibble twice a day. So that kibble's right at the bottom of the food pyramid. They get it consistently, and it's usually, so exciting. Even dogs that'll clean their bowl and lick it up, not that exciting. So right above that will be your soft treats, such as these little tiny Merrick treats or the Bill Jack soft treats. There are tons of soft treats on the market, and you can sort of have fun experimenting. Soft treats are great because your dog can quickly chew them down, and they also usually tend to smell a little bit more appealing. If you have a dog that does have a lot of allergy restrictions, or you're really concerned about the ingredients, you might want to try freeze-dried food, such as like duck breast, or quail, or rabbit, or even venison. There's a lot of different foods out there on the market, and they're basically just cuts of meat that have been freeze-dried. I happen to have with me lamb lung by Merrick. Merrick has a good reputation for their quality, and any dog I've interacted with likes the lamb lung or the beef lung. Okay, now here I am suggesting that you give your dog a lot of treats, that a big chunk of their caloric intake each day is actually treats used to reward behavior that you like. What do you do when you have a puppy and you're concerned about the dog getting a balanced diet, so it doesn't grow up malnourished? This is actually a dog food. This one's by Pet Botanics. Natural Balance also makes it, and they have an amazing reputation for high quality ingredients, and they're limited ingredient as well. So you can use that if you have some restrictions on what your dog needs. Since dog food is completely balanced, you don't have to worry about how much treats to kibble your dog is getting. And it's softer than a kibble, but it's not as soft as canned food. So it's not mushy, it's not greasy and wet. It's almost like a smoked, if you will, it's a little dry, so it'll crumble if anything. But they call it moistened meat right there. It's really good. You can cut it up into your training size treats, and it's very convenient. For dogs over a year, you really don't have to worry about even for a couple months of getting malnourished. If you adopted a dog that's already starved, this may be an option you want to consider. Above this is going to be your real food. What do I mean? Cheese, string cheese, cube cheese, sliced cheese, cheese that comes in a can. What's great about that is it's not as messy. You're going to pop that lid off and you don't have to get it on your hands. So if it really makes you uncomfortable, this actually could be a good option for you. Think real meat, lunch meat, hot dog, hamburger, meatball, pre-made, homemade, real food dog treats. If you have leftovers, let's say you got a rotisserie chicken, go ahead and scrape the good pieces of chicken right off there, put it in little Tupperware containers, pop it in your freezer, take it out as you need it. As long as the food isn't covered in a sauce or seasonings, doesn't have a lot of garlic or onion, it'll probably be safe for your dog. And like I said, dogs can be intolerant, so see what your dog digests comfortably. Now the next thing we're going to talk about is play reward, and I call it play versus toy because actually the engagement between you and your dog, that is more rewarding. Yeah, you're going to take a second to figure out what toys your dog likes. Some dogs are crazy about tennis balls. Others are happy with rubber ones. This is a Kong. It's really good for dogs to chewer. It might be a good investment. Some dogs want a squeaky rubber toy. This is a Cuz ball. Cuz balls come in a variety of sizes. Some dogs are going to want something soft. Other dogs are going to want a rope toy or a tug toy. And then you need to figure out what game your dog likes. Some dogs will play fetch for hours. Others love tug. Other dogs are going to want to kind of chase it on the ground as you move it away from them. Some dogs are going to want you to kind of dart at them or run away from them. Figure out what games your dog likes and use those. Now if your dog is really not into toys and you want to play with your dog out in public, use food. Name an example. I have a bunch of goldfish, which are brightly colored yellow, and on a cool day I can work on pavement or dark grass. Basically I'll say, hey Biscuit, find it, and then I'll toss the treat so he can see it. And as he gets good at the game, I can throw a little further away. But I can toss the treat, run in the opposite direction, toss the treat, and it's great. It's almost like they're hunting because they get to run it down, catch it, eat it, and come back for another one. Dogs love this game. I call it Find It, and I just start off by saying, find it, drop treat. Then I find it, drop it a little further, then I can start tossing it and throwing it. Okay, so that's play rewards. Let's talk about life rewards. What are those? Those are things other than food and toys that your dog already wants. Give you an example. Newly acquired adult dog or puppy. You're going to be crating that dog overnight so that they don't pee in your house or chew anything they're not supposed to. First thing in the morning, your dog is going to want to come out of that crate. Barring puppies, young puppies that might pee before you actually are getting them out of the crate. The one thing they're going to want right away is to come out of that crate. So have them earn it by practicing a sit. What you do is you cue the sit. While your dog maintains the sit position, you unlatch the crate, you slowly open it, and as long as your dog is in that sit position, give your release word. Break. That means he has permission to get up and go through. Do the same thing at the door going outside. 4 feet away from the door, so you have enough space between the dog and the door. Cue it down. As long as your dog maintains a down position, with your eyes on the dog and not the door, open the door. And as long as your dog stays there, what a good smart puppy, cue it with break, giving it permission to get up and go through. Had the dog gotten up at any point, you'd immediately shut the door and start over again. The dog moves from position, put them right back in the same exact spot they were before. Don't allow them to start at 4 feet and end at 2, or start right in front of you and end off to the side. You want them to understand when you tell them to wait in the one spot, you actually mean wait in that spot. Other examples, coming in from outside, going through gates, having your leash put on, having your leash taken off, getting pets, saying hi, getting to greet a person, getting to greet a dog, going for a run at the dog park. All of those things that your dog wants are life rewards. You're walking your dog out in public. You know your dog wants to go explore things, sniff, roll, whatever, be a dog. So first your dog has to earn that behavior by practicing loose leash walking at your side. Your dog goes several feet. You cue a sit. Dog offers eye contact. You release, check it out. That's the reward. Okay, so that's a life reward. Your dog will primarily earn life rewards throughout his life. In the beginning, the first couple months or so, your dog's gonna get a lot of food and play rewards. And then, to maintain really good responsiveness from your dog, continue to bring extra good quality treats, stick them in your back pocket when your dog is not paying attention, and then when your dog happens to do an exceptionally good job, like maintains a loose leash past other dogs, sits and stays when a group of kids come riding up, comes running away from a distraction, surprise them with a really high quality food reward as well, or the opportunity to play a favorite game. So that's all about motivation. Okay, those are the things you're going to use to motivate your dog. Second part, consistency. You have to be 100% consistent in training your dog. The rules can never change. So if you're teaching your dog not to jump on people, and in order to get attention they must sit, that means when your Aunt Terry comes over and goes, no, it's okay, I love dogs, I don't care if he jumps on me. No, he can't jump on you. He has to stay sitting or he can't say hi. Teaching loose leash walking, you don't want your dog to randomly run up to people or objects or stuff like that. So that means if you're walking down the street and someone goes, hi puppy, and your dog goes to run up, you don't allow them to go up just to be polite. Walk in the opposite direction. Say, come on, and walk them away. This way, you're being consistent. You're being fair to your dog. Your dog can learn a lot better. Training also has to be fair. The punishment must match the crime. So let me give you a couple of examples of severe punishment. You got a puppy, and he pees in front of you. Pups squat right in front of you, right? Go, no, bad boy, outside. By yelling, and really yelling at the puppy and grabbing his collar and dragging him outside, it's a little extreme. Worst scenario, you walk into the room, find the puddle, grab your dog, shake your dog, rub his face in it, and throw him in his crate for a timeout. Both of those examples are actually pretty extreme. And if you catch your dog peeing inside, tell your puppy, no, outside. Just a quick no and bring him right out to the appropriate spot. If it's an adult dog, give him the benefit of the doubt. Is your dog sick? Could they have an infection? Maybe you put them out in the yard and weren't watching and they didn't have a chance to go potty before you brought him back in, and it's been hours. So always give your adult dog the benefit of the doubt. Okay, so let me give you a couple examples of appropriate corrections. Dealing with the puppy, when the teeth touch the skin, you give a quick tug and release and the puppy just looks at you, that's appropriate. You're doing loose leash walking and you decided that the tool that's going to get you the most effective results is going to be the prong collar. So you start off walking, dog goes to drift, little pressure, dog moves back with you, you release the pressure. That's a perfect example of punishment that matches the crime. On the other side is using rewards. Now, when you hear me say pay your dog, what I mean is give your dog a reward. Give him food, give him playtime. He just earned it, and it's going to usually mean food. So when you are figuring out what you should give your dog, look at what you just asked him to do. Basically, pay for work. If you're doing obedience inside the house, it's just you and your dog. You put the other dogs away. You can work with kibble. Great, do it. The minute you go outside, even on a calm day, there's birds, squirrels, leaves blowing in the wind, the neighbor's kids, couple houses down playing. Use something better, more motivating, a little bit more exciting. Go to your soft treats. But when you're at PetSmart and you cue your dog to do a down stay and go to the end of leash, and there's people walking by going, how beautiful that dog is, you're really going to pay them. That's hazard pay. You're going to go over and hand him a piece of roast beef for a good job. So that's what I mean when I'm talking about matching, your punishment to your crime or the reward to the work. When I say pay your dog, it's giving your dog a food reward. When I say give your dog feedback, it actually means let your dog know, do you need a quick leash correction? Is he pulling? Did you need to say no because he's about to make a mistake and you want to stop him? Maybe giving a little social pressure by moving in. Is it the kind of thing where you're trying to get your dog to offer behavior so you give him a no reward mark? Try again. And it's not quite a correction, it just means that behavior is not earning the reward. Sometimes it's going to be a timeout. That's feedback. It's also a correction. So when I say pay, I mean you're going to give an actual reward. When I say feedback, it's probably going to be a correction. Use the leash, use your body, figure out what matches for that dog to get that dog to understand what's going on. In training, you have criteria that you're going to raise and lower as need be to set your dog up for success. So let me give you an example. You're working on lure reward for sitting down. So you start inside with soft treats because they're easiest to break up into small pieces, get your dog really engaged, and your dog can eat a bunch of small treats without really choking on anything. So you lure, nose up, dog goes into a sit, pop the treat in his mouth. Take the treat to your dog's nose, drop it nice and slow and steady, about ankle height. Slowly pull it away, forming that L. Your dog pops up. No worries, lower into a sit, reward it. To the nose, nice steady pace down, pull it away, dog gets up. No worries, lower into a sit. To the nose, into the chest, dog gets up again. Now you know you tried two different techniques and neither one is working, so you're going to lower your criteria. You do not at this point need to start pushing your dog's shoulders or doing pressure with the leash downward until your dog gives up. What you can do is to the nose, drop it down a little bit. So while your dog's head is down, looking down at that treat, you can give it the treat. If your dog can do 5 of those in a row, where he looks down for the treat, you can raise your criteria. So you take the treat to the nose, drop it down a little bit further, 1 Mississippi, treat. Do that again, to the nose, drop down, 1 Mississippi, treat. If you can do 5 at 1 Mississippi count, raise it to 2 Mississippi. To the nose, drop it down, 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, give him the treat. You can continue to increase the time in Mississippi counts until your dog finds it uncomfortable to sort of squat, and just lower it a little bit more each time to the ground as well, so that your dog isn't sort of just bending a little bit, but your dog has to really reach down. But go slowly, count it out. If your dog can do 3 in a row but not make it to 5, stick at that. Stay at 2 Mississippis before going to 3. And if your dog gets up, lower it back down to 1 Mississippi and work at that a few more times. So your dog understands working with it will push through. So you're going to adjust your criteria. You go, keep doing that, your dog goes right into a down. You work in every room of the house. Now that your treat goes to his nose, you start bringing it down, slides right down. Yeah, you got it. Go outside, treat to nose, go down, he gets up. No worries, you know exactly what to do. Treat to nose, drop it. Takes the treat. And you repeat. And then you keep doing that. So you go, the first time you go out to near a park, you're at a distance where your dog can still focus, you're going to probably lower your criteria back down to a second. And then 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi. But as you practice, your dog will get much better, and in no time, your dog won't actually need you to constantly lower your criteria, because you'll have worked on it and your dog will start to generalize it. So understanding that your criteria, what you require of your dog, is very flexible. It's not rigid. And it's quite normal for you to have to raise it and lower it as your dog is capable of doing these things. All right, so